Okay, this is the situation, World at War, breakthrough to Frankfort scenario, and it's the end of the game, end of turn 20, and NATO have won. We'll have a quick analysis of the situation. As you can see, that the southern objective is now in the hands of the Warsaw Pact, but they haven't cleared all. You've got to clear a radius of 5 hexes around it, which they've failed to do. You can see that Warsaw Pact forces are entering the urban area here, and they're putting immense pressure on the few sort of NATO units in that area. And to be honest, give it another 2 turns and I think they would have taken this particular objective. This one here was the one where they thought they'd got away with it, but American reinforcements coming from the west just meant it was a no-hoper. There were always too many NATO units hanging around this 5 hex perimeter. So even though they captured the objective about 5 turns ago, well, maybe 4 or 5 turns ago, they were never ever going to be able to achieve what they were doing. Even if this went on for several other more turns, there's no chance that the Russians are strong enough to actually take this objective. Well, not only take the objective, but actually achieve their victory conditions. There's just too many NATO forces in that area. So all in all, an interesting scenario. It may not be the best for some people because there was a lot of turns where units were just moving and there was very little fighting. If I look at NATO's strategy, what I would say is don't agree to the electronic warfare card being included in the game. NATO were unfortunate that their air power actually never got onto the board. Because the weather changed for the worse right at the start of the game. NATO also defended too deep. They should have defended a lot in these urban areas along the river, but they got a bit ambitious and they pushed their defence screen right out here, which wasn't a good idea because quite a few units just got picked off one by one when the Warsaw Pact attack started developing. It's a difficult one for the Warsaw Pact to win this. I think you've got to have a proper plan. I didn't have a proper plan. I thought I'd go for that one, that particular objective over there, but at the same time I'd go for this one. So instead of concentrating on one spearhead and using my alternative formation cards to do multiple activations for those formations, what I should have done as the Russian player, I would say concentrate on this one. It's not obviously the easiest one to do, but you don't get all these American formations appearing from the west pressing onto you. And also it's a shorter distance to this one. Even though, well, I don't know, you could probably count the hexes off, but I think it's an illusion that it's a shorter distance to that one than it is to this one. In fact, I'm sure it is, but you should have concentrated on a few formations, the ones that were making ground, the ones where the cards weren't coming out, just let them drop. See, some formations never got enough cards for them to go anywhere. This West German territorial unit did what it was supposed to do. It was a roadblock and it caused the offensive to stall slightly. Yeah, so what I would say, if you're going to play this as the Russians, go for one objective. Don't even think about going for 2. And if you're going to do it, pick a group of formations, use your alternate formation activation cards to do multiple activations of that unit, and storm this particular point here. Trying to do both is a no-no. Now, there's a bit of a reason why it turned out this way, is I don't tend to look ahead. With most games I play, I won't look ahead when I'm playing a historical game, so I don't have a non-historical view on how the battle's going to develop. Now that's fine, but when you're playing a game like this where it's a hypothetical situation and you know it's going to be really finely balanced, you ought to look at what units are coming on where and plan your strategy that way, because it's not as if you're getting a historical look at how the battle's going to develop. You're getting the optimum view of how the battle's going to develop for a very close scenario. So that pretty much covers the game as it's turned out. It looked like the Soviets had won for quite a while, but it wasn't to be. But as I said, I think another couple of turns down south here and they would have won.